A platinum rank League of Legends player in Taiwan has bought a pro team and made himself the starting jungler on the roster. His name is Godtone. He's an online mega celebrity, and you're going to want to strap in for this story because it really is a mad one. So here's what you really need to understand. In Taiwan, Godtone is unbelievably big. He's been called the Tyler One of Taiwan, but honestly, I think that's a little bit of an understatement. He's been a League of Legends content creator for the past decade, becoming famous in Taiwan as a high elo Gragas one trick, and to this day, a particularly smooth Gragas combo is also known as a Godtone on the server. He's also known simply, sometimes, as the God of Asia. But he's not just known for his skills with the barrel. Godtone is somewhat of a living meme. Montages of him have racked up millions of views, showing off his skills, his laughs, his rages, and watching them, it's easy to see why he's known in Taiwan simply as the King of Mouth. One famous reaction clip of him being annoyed at former pro Toys for licking his lips was spun off by the Taiwanese League community into some pretty bizarre memery. He's even dabbled in Street Fighter and took part in the Taipei Major in 2019, where he cosplayed as his character Birdie. To put it simply, the 34-year-old has been around the esports block. So yeah, he's basically a massive online celebrity. And although he's never really been predictable, a lot of people were surprised to hear in January that he was going pro in League of Legends. Now this is a shock for two reasons. Firstly, although Godtone may have had a much higher rank in seasons past, he currently reportedly sits in Platinum. I don't think you can say that about a single other pro. And secondly, he didn't just join a team as a pro. This is where it gets really interesting. On January 12th, he announced the founding of Hell Pigs, otherwise known as HPS, created from the ashes of Meta Falcon, whose slot they'd taken in Taiwan's PCS League. He then gave a jokey rundown of the roster, including himself as the jungler, in which he compared himself to Dwight Howard, an American basketball player for the Taoyuan Leopards in Taiwan. The post received over 29,000 likes. The hype was real. The meme god himself was about to enter professional League of Legends as both the owner and jungler of a team. A reported 80,000 viewers tuned in to watch his debut at the end of last month. To put that in perspective, that's over 10,000 more than the average concurrent viewers the LCS gets at the moment. Godtone is massive. So the next question is obviously, how has the team been doing? Well, the PCS has only just finished week 3 of their summer split, but things are going relatively okay for them if you consider the absolute jungle canyon between them and the rest of the league. They're currently sitting in 6th place with a 3-6 record. They're not bottom of the pack and have actually been improving in recent weeks. Week 1 saw them go 0 wins, 3 losses. Week 2 they went 1 win, 2 losses, and week 3 they managed 2 wins, 1 loss. Now I call that an upward trend. Godtone is sitting at a 1.62 KDA, which is significantly lower than the league's average of 4.08, and his kill participation is at 50.7% compared with a league average of 70.63%. Now he has had some incredibly rough games like his week 1 0-6 Sejuani performance that just went from bad to worse, but last weekend he pulled out the Nautilus jungle and put up a 3-kill, 2-death, 14-assist performance to help his team to a comfortable victory. So on paper, and at least by my eye test, it's not really looking great. Now, some people have said that he is at least hanging with the other pros. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch, but he's certainly not being demolished quite as hard as you'd expect given his alleged rank. And let's talk about that rank. Like I said earlier, I can't think of a single pro in League of Legends history that began their pro career as Platinum. The Reddit post that brought this story to a lot of Western League fans like myself stated that Godtone was Platinum but offered no sources. So after spending a lot of time with Google Translate, I found a Taiwanese article from last month which claimed to have found 2 of Godtone's accounts. One of them, known in English as Ghost News Red Ant, does indeed appear to be the same one he uses on stream, and yes, it is currently Platinum 2. The article also claims that this is his off-stream account, which is currently Diamond 1, but it's harder to verify it belongs to him if he does only play it off-stream. So as I'm unable to confirm that the Diamond account is his, it does look like the only verifiable account he has is Platinum. Now my first thought here is, how is this even possible? The LEC, the LCS, the LPL, even the EMEA all have rules that state a player must be at least Diamond 1 currently or at the end of the previous season in order to be a pro player. But try as I might, I could not find the rule set for the PCS. I spent way too long looking for it, so I have to assume one of 3 things is happening here. Either the PCS doesn't have that rule, or there's an exception to the rule for owners playing on a team, or Godtone does have an account that meets the criteria, such as the alleged Diamond account. I am a bit confused here, but then again, a lot of things confuse me with this story, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's all just highly unusual. When I first heard about all of this, I have to admit, I just thought it was some rich guy trying to buy what skill alone couldn't get him. And while there still may be an element of that going on for me, I'm not quite as skeptical about Godtone as I initially was. I see a guy who's been a key figure in the Taiwanese league community now for over a decade, doing something pretty interesting, which is more than I can say for most other leagues out there right now. He's generating views and attention that would make most major regions blush, and he's turning a lot of heads outside of Taiwan now. It's made that region slightly more interesting for me. I may actually watch some PCS games now that I know a bit more about his story. Perhaps some of you will do the same. Because if Hellpigs do continue to improve, and so does their meme god streaming Platinum jungler, then I want to see just how far this bizarrely wonderful story can go. I for one can't wait for the Godtone Faker showdown at Worlds this year. I'm kidding of course, but just like Faker, I think I'm going to keep an eye on him just in case. I just think this guy's kind of amazing because he helps answer that question that all of us have asked at some point in our gaming careers, which is, how would I stack up against the very best, you know, the absolute pinnacle of esports, the pros?